Republican Congressman-elect George Santos of New York admitted in two separate interviews to lying about parts of his resume, but claimed that he hasn't committed any crimes and intends to serve in Congress. Santos has faced scrutiny over discrepancies in his employment and education history, as well as other public claims that he has made about his biography. In interviews with various media outlets, he acknowledged that he had fabricated some facts. And while Santos is under immense pressure to resign, the GOP, which is dependent on votes to elect a House Speaker, is unlikely to act against Santos. Here are a few political speeches of Santos that gives a peek about his personality.
I'm a first-generation born American, like many in our great nation. My parents came to this country in search of the American dream. Today, I live that American dream. Only in this country can the little boy born in a basement apartment in Jackson Heights, Queens, in New York City, become a United States congressman at 34. My grandparents, pardon me, have a very strong story that I resonate with. We're no stranger to persecution. My grandfather fleeing Ukraine in 1920s to Belgium, then fleeing Belgium to Brazil in 1940. It's a story of survival, of tenacity, of grit, as we like to call it. My mother migrated to the United States in search of the American dream. As I said today, I am her American dream. Mom, may God rest your soul. It's my biggest disappointment not being able to share this moment with her, but I hope you guys can bear with me here. Look, I ran in 2020 for Congress because I saw that our country was fractured and our leaders were working against the American dream, that same dream that has always been so important to me and I believe is important to the next generation. I strive in saying that we have a fundamental moral obligation to leave a better country for the next generation, and I didn't see that happen. So I ran, I lost, and from defeat, I grabbed the power and harnessed the energy to run again. But I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that my good friend Congressman Lee Zeldin really paved the way for all of us in New York. Lee has served as an inspiration, as a friend, and as a leader for the Jewish folks in Congress and for all of us in this room by at one point being just 2 members. So now we're going to be 3. We've tripled it. We've almost tripled it there.
And lastly, I just want to put it this way. I don't think there should be a statistic on homelessness of veterans. I think it's gross that there is such numbers out there. My team identified a recent report as far as north as 75,000 in the tri-state area alone. I can't even imagine what it's nationally. I mean, honestly, I don't think that that's appropriate. I don't think it should be a statistic. I don't think it should be a problem. It's common sense. They come home, they don't have a place to go. You kick out anyone and you put them or build something or create programs. But that's it, folks. Do we go home and accept that we're going to break up families in a fashion where we're actually deporting, at this point, American citizens? Because these kids are Americans. So that's where I go into this very special cases. I'm not saying abroad anything. I'm saying let's try to focus on those who have kids, because I'll put it this way, very simply, and it is a hot button issue. If you have a 10-year-old child, a 12-year-old child, and you know, obviously they were born here, they're American citizens, do you think us as Americans, we should send them into some third world country and let them fend for themselves? I know they're not, it's not our fault, definitely not our fault, but it's a patriotic thing. We should defend our own, and I believe those kids are our own, even though they come from an act of error and arrogance and illegal lawlessness. We still need to recognize them as Americans, as it is the law of the land.
And as far as the children that are born here to these illegals, in my humble opinion, and you can call me whatever name you want, I think that citizenship should be revoked. A person who comes here illegally, pregnant, knowing very well she's going to cross the border and have herself a little anchor baby, should not be allowed to have an American citizen. That citizenship should be revoked, and citizenship should only be conveyed to children of people who come here lawfully. That's my opinion.
seems like our families were very similar. So yeah, I come from an immigrant family that actually has the same mindset. I'd also like to say that yes, I think that we need to start ending the policy that allows anchor babies. That's a start, but that's also part of extensive immigration reform. We need to end the anchor baby policy. You cross the border, you skip the border, whatever you call it, you know, you overstay your visa and you have a kid, yeah, that's a problem. But moving forward, we end that, and that's also in my proposal for immigration reform. But unfortunately, we can't revoke citizenships. That's just not how it works, unfortunately, and that's bigger than I am and bigger than most of us. You know, it's constitutional right as it is.